Hello, my name is Peter Mills, and today we are dancing with Luusi Kateme. Hi, Luusi.
Hello, hi. Thank you for having me.
It's super exciting to have you. We've been together for 3 years, working in the same spaces, and I really wanted to get the opportunity to be in your practice. So how would you introduce yourself, Luusi?
Depending on who asks, I would introduce myself as Luusi, and a spirit that navigates through life. Yeah.
I love that. And hopefully we'll feel that in the practice. I kind of know that we will because we've been talking before and stuff and things. So let's jump right in, and you can describe what we're going to do today.
Okay, for the practice that I have planned for us, it's a task that I've been doing or spending time with during the summer, because I realized that I wasn't really paying attention to what I need to do and what I want to do. I was more just doing whatever I had put on my schedule to do. So I started asking myself, or in conversations with a person, a coach, and we talked a lot about what makes me, like how can I get and cultivate a sustainable lifestyle, and also in my artistic practice, how can I make it more sustainable? Because I don't want to fall sick, I don't want to be away from dancing, from creating, and I started realizing that if I continue the way I'm doing, it will just hurt me more in the end, and also my practice. So what we're going to do is a task that I call asking myself what I need.
Say that again. I see myself
asking myself what I need.
Asking myself what I need.
In the moment, and it's an ongoing thing. Like you don't just ask once and then you've done. Like you ask continuously over and over and over again.
So sort of once you're already in maybe one of your needs, you refresh and ask again. Wait, is this what I need?
Yes.
Yeah. I love it.
So I've been doing it both when I'm creating, if I'm in the studio, but also at home or wherever I'm at. Coming to the studio, leaving the studio, like I'm always making sure that I am taking care of my needs and being kind to myself in that way.
Yeah. Great. So we're going to do that. We're in the dance studio, and I think if you're at home, I also invite you to do it as well, so you can do it wherever. And we just attend to what we need at this moment. Right.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Attend to what you need.
Okay.
No, but it's really good.
Just try get with you. I'm super excited. Great. So how long would you recommend we do this for?
I
guess it's open.
Yeah, it's open. It's open.
Okay. So how long will we do it for? What do you say? Like 10 minutes?
I think 10 minutes would be perfect,
All right, let's try. Okay, and we're back. Thank you so much, Luusi.
Thank you, Peter.
So now we're just going to share some of our reflections and have a conversation a bit about the practice. And I hope people listening can also take this time to reflect and maybe go back to the practice as well. I know I certainly will. Like my biggest need was more time. Even though we started by saying, it can go on for as long as you want, and then we said 10 minutes, let's be efficient, and I could have done with a bit more. Shall I start?
Yeah.
Is that good for you?
Yes.
Okay. So first thing that I was really aware was how important the refresh is. Like to really keep asking the question. Like I found myself, I was like, I need to stretch, or I need to do this, and then I was like, but wait, do I still need it? And that refresh really afforded that I could go deeper into the body and into the question of need and desire or pleasure and want. And I think we should talk about those things as well. But I wanted to share some of my needs that I found, because I thought that was really exciting, and it's so clear. At one point I was like, I need more body, I need more limbs. Like, I was working with my hands in a sort of like downward dog type position. No, wait, more like a puppy pose, if you know the one. It's closer to the ground. And I was like, I want arms to stretch out from my shoulders alongside my actual arms, and I wanted more possibilities. And it was, so that was really interesting to sense a desire to escape my body in a sort of like bigger way. And I wondered what that was. And then I had the need to write, which I thought was interesting. I was like, I need to capture some of these needs. So I started writing, drawing, and then I needed to copy. So I went to the wall like you did, and I was very quickly aware of, I don't need this anymore. I just felt like I needed to know that I was able to copy you.
Lovely.
Yeah, and I got a few more. I needed to touch, I needed to listen, I needed more time, and I needed more pleasure at some point. I was like, I need more of this. So how was this one for you? How was this practice for you?
I just want to say that it really sounded like you went deeper, like you said in the beginning, into what you need. And as you ended it now, that you said that you wanted more of what you were already doing. More body, more space, more time. It was just 10 minutes, so that's amazing. So for me, the first thing I noticed was that I needed some sort of like coldness. Maybe because I'm nervous, I get like hot, so I wanted something cold, and I was drawn to, I'm not sure what that is, but the material of...
It's like a metal...
metal like...
Cupboard,
door. That I directly thought that this one must be cold, and when I touched it, it was, and I was like, perfect, now it's like cooling me down. And I wanted it especially on my stomach.
Yeah.
And I think it's because I'm really tense, mostly in my stomach and neck area, so cooling that down. And then I felt like I wanted to release more tension, and I started making the sounds, like an ongoing, is it like humming? Humming sound. And just kept that going.
Yeah.
And I saw also that you were also drawn into humming a bit. And then I always found myself wanting to release more and more in different ways. So I started breathing out more, focusing on really like pushing out the air. And then what else? Also stretching a bit, but still in the like category of releasing tension, but in different ways. And then I started moving around. I wanted to move around, and finally found myself needing to be close to the floor, and also found that it was cold, so that was perfect. I was still in I need the coldness on my
sort of calming, cool.
Yeah.
What's really interesting is because, like I said, I needed to copy at some point, and I went to the wall and I was like, I don't need this anymore. But it's interesting that visual of what I thought you were needing was the wall, when actually it was the cool, the cold.
Yeah.
And I wonder if I had connected to your actual need rather than to the form and the shape that you were dancing with. If I would have appreciated it more, then I was like at the wall, I was like, no, I don't need this anymore. But definitely with the humming, it really connected us, even though we weren't looking at each other really eye to eye, or it gave us the possibility to sort of like be in the space. And I always love that moment when it's opened up as a possibility, because normally I'm like, oh, okay, I should we haven't spoken about making noise, so therefore I'm going to keep quiet.
And that's usually how I feel when I am amongst, or in the dance studio, maybe in a dance class, there are other people.
Yeah.
Like the sound thing feels like, no, I shouldn't make any sound. I have to be, or we haven't discussed it, talked about it. So in those kinds of situations, and I think I felt that now that, oh, the sound is a part of like the tension, or not making sound is part of the tension. So let me make some sound, and then I started feeling that I'm releasing tension, and also went deeper in my thoughts about it. But
a lot of like tension releasing, nervous energy. I think what I'm also noticing in what we're sort of bringing up now with the humming is that I think it also allows that somehow like the questioning of the need and the keep on returning to what is actually needed sort of expands the what's allowed in the dance studio and what's allowed in one's dance. Like, I don't know, for me at least, like definitely with the humming, but I think it could go even further of, I want to leave the dance studio, I need to be with a tree, I need to be, and I think that makes so much sense when you said at the beginning, like, it's not only for the dance studio. So I'm sort of curious, how has your need been shaped by the practice, and do you go to the same needs every time, or is it different? And how are you? How is your needs changing as you do this practice?
It's really different, because most of the time, when I attend to my need or find myself asking, what do I need? I sense nothing. Like nothing comes up. Like no thought, no idea, no desire comes up. So I just keep on, like you said, like refreshing, re-asking. And it often ends up with me doing something without actively deciding to do it. So it's as if asking the question, not getting an answer, puts me more in the present moment, which leads to something happening that I wasn't really aware of that I needed.
Yes.
So it happens automatically because I am so present in the moment, which leads to me attending to something without having to without earlier thinking about, okay, this is what I need now, let me do it. It just happens. And that's most of the times how the practice happens. But then also sometimes, like today, something very specific comes up. But most of the time it's the thing of just being present, and then stuff just starts to unfold, and I'm like, what's happening? What's going on? Oh, I needed this. I didn't know.
And that's really interesting, that sense of nothing, or like, there's no needs. I think I was trying to think if that comes from the practice, or if I can relate to that outside of your practice. And it reminds me of that that sort of desire to create, like, oh, I'm meant to be making a dance, or I'm in the dance studio, I'm a dance professional, so I should be making dance. But it's like, but what? Like, why? And stuff. Like, at least I feel like I can connect to that sense of, what do I really need? What's the real thing? And it sounds as though also in the practice you're speaking to something. How would you describe that thing you speak to? Is it yourself, or is it your past self, or is it the room, or is it the future, is it the promise, is it energy or a spirit, or I feel like that's in
like
the
I'm
room.
speaking to something.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's just it's so fun to hear you say that, because I am, but I didn't think it would be that you would something that you would be able to catch. But I think I am speaking to myself, but a different part of me that is part of the universal energy that surrounds us. Because I see that, or I view it as, that's us, that's me, that's you. It's something much bigger that helps us navigate through life. And I want to give space for that energy to be part of whatever I'm doing, because I always feel like I feel better. Let me just put it like that. I feel better when I give space for that energy to also be as present as my how do I call it, my mind. An outside energy that's within me. That's true.
Like no, I don't think you should be surprised. I think it's extremely central, at least in my experiencing of it. And I had the question of, what is need? Now you've been working with this practice. Like, how do you experience need now? Like, how does it vocalize itself? And I think it sounds like what you're articulating is something, almost of a collective. Like, it's not solely individual, but it's also it's experienced through the individual somehow. Like, it reminds me of an ethical sort of acting and being in the world. Like, to be ethical, we need to both be listening to others and the universe, the world around us, and being attentive to that in ways which maybe are less black and white. Like, it's not about like understanding like, oh, that person's saying that and that means exactly that. It's like to be very attentive to how they're saying it, and the subtext and the things that maybe they haven't been able to articulate yet, and all of that otherness in relationship to one's own actions, one's own presence, one's own being, one's own life. Like, there's something so political and engaged, and and if I understand you right, like, it comes from a personal sort of like, not only like, how do I act on the world and so on, but how do I act in front of myself and for myself.
Because I believe that if we have two different parts of us, and if I attend to the part that's more like closer to my intuition, because I am how do I call it, like my ancestors and my parents, people that come before me, and also in a sense I believe that we're all, I don't know how, this is just ideas that I have in my mind, but that really, okay, we are different humans, but we're one being. So if I tend to my intuition, that's closer or the same thing as the spirit, the being, I will automatically attend to other people, because we all have the same spirit, but then we are different individual humans. So it's not that I'm attending to my ego or to what I want. It's more like, what do I need? It goes deeper.
That was my next question of like, where is the depth? Like, how deep can it go? And it sounds like, yeah, you're speaking of like, yeah, I love this concept of like there's two selves, and in both, I don't know, I'm imagining that in both one can go deeper and deeper and deeper, and you're both going, maybe one of the selves is going in towards closer to what is you, and the other self is going sort of more out towards what is us as this one body, and they are somehow contained together. Somehow it doesn't function as an image in my head, but it functions as a sensation somehow. Yeah. Do you have anything else to add, or?
No.
I feel like we have so much more to do. Like, and I think that's what I really hope for with offering your practice and people's practices, is that we reflect and then we can go back, and hopefully we can come back to this practice and we see how it is. I know I definitely will. Like, I will find myself looking for my needs and getting closer to this type of depth of self in my body and in my life, for sure. So thank you so much.
Maybe one thing that I can add, because I'm thinking of the needing part. It can be both like a desire that's unhealthy, or a desire that's not, and also to be able to discern, is that the word, of the two, because you might feel like you need something, but you know that, no, I shouldn't be doing that, but I feel like I need it. It's not that type of desire that we are working with, and this is all like pretty new, so I'm not really sure how to explain that. It's the other part of the other needing part, but maybe, like we said, that it's a deeper sensing, listening way into it. I just wanted to.
No, absolutely. And to speak to that, I imagine that somehow what you offer yourself is the ability to experience those needs, and then judge, be able to make choices, to take control of, like, actually, is that a need that I want?
True,
Because you're right, and maybe that has to do with that second self, is that we are influenced by so many things. How do we listen to the things which are going to enrich our lives, are going to support our lives, and going to continue us in a sustainable way? Because if we just follow the noise of the world, we'll end up buying a car and house, and just following the sort of cliche of what society wants.
Exactly.
And to take that time and to give that experience. And I think one last thing. I think what's really nice is that often my difficulty of getting into the studio and starting a practice is because I don't know what I need. And the beauty with your practice is you start with that question, so it's a little bit like, well, I don't know what I need, so let's ask myself, what do I need? And then I have the motivation, and that should carry me. Like, I'm so motivated to continue.
Yeah, nice. Thank you.
I'd just like to, maybe before we say goodbye to you, Luusi, for this time, just touch on some of the things you're working with, and so that people can see and follow you and hear about your work.
I would love that. So as part of my work and what I do is, like you said, I'm speaking to myself, and I do it through the camera. I video document my processes, my practice, also a lot of my life in general, and I share my videos on my YouTube. So
which is?
My YouTube is Luusi Kateme. Yeah. So my first and last name, and I would love for more people to engage in my videos, and I'm hoping for it to cause discussions or dialogue about how to take care of oneself, and how do you speak to yourself, about yourself, with yourself. because I find it very important to like cultivate a both sustainable way of being with yourself, but also like a kind way of being with yourself. So it's fun for me to share it. Yeah, so openly on like video and in documentary, and it's currently in Swedish.
Yeah.
But when I have more time, I'll translate everything to English too.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's plenty of people who will really appreciate that in Swedish as well. But thank you so much, Luusi. It's such a pleasure, and I can't wait to follow you through your YouTube channel, and also your Instagram, which is the same tag as well.
Yes.
And also Facebook a little bit as well.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I'm there too.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, well, good luck, and I hope to see you again, and I hope to see or be here, have our listeners with us in the future when we meet someone else to dance with.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Peter, for this. Thank you.